Randy Orton and Alexa Bliss continue their feud, and he vomits that black blood stuff again. We're going to talk about it in just a sec, so stay tuned. This is your Raw review. What's up, maniacs? My name is Mex. I'm a wrestling fan, a wrestling enthusiast, a WrestleManiac, if you will. And today we are talking Monday Night Raw. Good show ish, to be fair. I feel like it wasn't dragging. I felt like that there wasn't any kind of filler, that things just kind of went at a good place, even if it meant giving matches longer. So yeah, really thought it was good, and the matches were pretty decent. Some questionable storyline segments, which I'm sure you all know which one I'm talking about. So we'll get onto it in just a second, so stay tuned. And in case you didn't know, right here at WrestleManiac UK, I discuss everything that's WWE and AEW. So if this sounds like the place for you, make sure you hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit the notification bell so you get notified every time I go live, like today, or anytime I drop a video in general. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's get into the review. The show kicked off, with Bobby Lashley coming out with with MVP and the rest of the Hurt Business guys. This is like a backstage segment to become champion and how no man is going to beat him for it. And I love the way WWE are currently referring to him as the almighty WWE champion. It sounds literally very regal. It sounds spiritual to some degree, like the almighty Bobby Lashley, the almighty WWE champion. Even his entrance today, like he has like some extended Titron which shows him literally mauling guys, putting them in hurt locks. They're packaging him really, really well. It looks like the money is all behind him right now, especially going into WrestleMania. So that's great to see. Miz actually came out first into the show to start the show, and Miz was accompanied obviously by Morrison, and he came into the ring and he cut a promo about, how he didn't expect to have to defend his championship twice last week. He thought he had an obligation to defend it once in a month or whatever, and he defended it twice in a night. And that, yeah, he should be WWE champion and all that kind of usual spiel. But yeah, he said he's going to fight for his championship to get it back tonight to go to WrestleMania, that he's the Miz and he's awesome and all that stuff. Good impassioned promo from Miz. He does those very well. And then the almighty WWE champion came out. Bobby Lashley came out. They were having a rematch for the WWE championship to kick off the show, which I thought set a good kind of tone and a pace for the show, because it's like that's something that will usually be kept for the main event, and we might see them build into it. But if you start the show with something of such high importance, then yeah, it sets a good precedence for the rest of the show, in my opinion. This was a really straightforward match. Miz avoided Bobby Lashley for the most of the opening, but as soon as Bobby Lashley got his hands on Miz, there was more or less a beatdown, and Bobby done what he done last week. Miz a bit more cunning, not as scared as last week, had a bit more to offer in the offense department, but this really was all Lashley, and Lashley eventually put him away with the hurt lock, which Miz tapped out to. Lashley retains the WWE Championship, so he's had his first title defense. And yeah, that was us seeing Lashley on the show for the night. So good stuff, efficient, good segment, good match, didn't last too long. Yeah, good start to Raw, in my opinion. Next up, we had Braun Strowman come out, and this was the beginning of, yeah. Braun Strowman comes out and he's demanding an apology from Shane McMahon, as he believes Shane McMahon is making him look stupid on purpose. Shane McMahon eventually comes out to the ring, and Shane McMahon goes face to face with Braun Strowman and says, "I apologize," and walks out the ring. And everyone's like, okay. As he's walking out, as he reaches the top of the entranceway, he kind of turns around like he has something more to say to Braun. Braun, you can hear him from the ring, is saying, what do you have to say? Like, say it. Shane kind of, yeah, like thinks otherwise of it, and he walks backstage. So Braun is, yeah, he's a bit confused as to what has gone on there. Like we all probably are. Next up on the show, we saw obviously Drew McIntyre backstage watching Bobby Lashley's championship match with Miz. He was going to cut a promo afterwards, how saying he's the next person to face Bobby Lashley. Sheamus, excuse me, Sheamus attacks Drew McIntyre backstage, saying that you think that we were done, sort of thing. Sheamus literally throws him from pillar to post, and Drew McIntyre eventually gets up, goes to Adam Pearce, and requests a match on the night with Sheamus, a no disqualification match, which these guys had. And if you saw their match a couple of weeks ago, obviously this being no disqualification, this was amplified and this was a barn burner as well. Like, why are these two just giving away these bangers on Raw? I mean, it's funny because it makes the show better to watch, but they're being given a lot of time and they're putting together bangers. Like, it's gonna be crazy. This match, obviously, like I say, no disqualification, so those kendo sticks, chair shots, all that kind of stuff that we saw in this. Really good spot when Drew hit Sheamus with the Claymore, and Sheamus literally fell out the ring as he got rolled back in. Sheamus rolled back out. Drew went back out to get him. He got hit with a bro kick, and then these guys picked up both of the steel stairs each and went and rammed into each other. And like, I guess their heads were like in between the stairs, so their heads kind of ricocheted off the stairs. Drew went flying over the barrier. Sheamus just collapsed where he was, and the referee ruled that neither of them could continue. So yeah, no winner in that sense. I assume that this is probably going to be a fast lane match, Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus, as like a rubber match. But in that sense, as a rubber match, they could have given Sheamus the win tonight. Obviously, Drew got the first win. Sheamus wins tonight, and then they could have the rubber match at Fastlane. But yeah, very interesting because right now is Bobby Lashley defending his title at Fastlane. Is Drew McIntyre is he now getting kind of distracted with the Sheamus stuff? The WWE picture doesn't have a clear picture going into WrestleMania at the moment, so plans can change as we know, but right now, yeah, that's what things are looking like. Next up, we had Xavier Woods versus Shelton Benjamin. They announced also that next week on Raw, we're getting the Hurt Business versus New Day for the Tag Team Championships. But yeah, Xavier Woods versus Shelton Benjamin on the night. The New Day with their Mortal Kombat gear was so sick. Proper good looking gear. Um, Looks like they're moving away from all the New Day, related kind of stuff on their gear, and this is something else. Maybe this is a one-off. I don't know. We'll see. Kofi Kingston has really got some trait as of late of talking a lot during matches and all of that kind of stuff, which is comedic because that's actually what went towards the finish here. Shelton Benjamin was running his mouth back to Kofi when all of a sudden Xavier Woods rolled up Shelton Benjamin, gave him a small package, and pinned Shelton Benjamin. So Shelton Benjamin and obviously Cedric Alexander, that was ringside, wasn't too happy with that result post the match. But yeah, I guess Shelton Benjamin should have been paying attention then, innit? So it is what it is. So yeah, but before that, pretty decent match. Um, right, we saw Matt Riddle in action just after. Before we get on to Matt Riddle and Slapjack, guys, please remember to hit the thumbs up button if you're watching. It does loads for the channel. I thoroughly appreciate every time you guys do. Helps more people see these reviews and these videos and interact with the channel. So if you haven't already, please hit the thumbs up button. Next up, Riddle versus Slapjack. Again, it was announced that next week on the show we're gonna get Mustafa Ali versus Riddle for the United States Championship, which should really be a decent match, really good match. I'm looking forward to that. But even the match we got on the night, like this was a bit of a glorified squash match. Slapjack was never really gonna win, but he did get some offense in. It was a very fast paced match. Slapjack, Shane Thorne, that everyone knows, obviously he's wearing this character right now, but Shane Thorne's a really good wrestler. So yeah, it's a shame that he's carrying this gimmick at the minute, but hopefully one day he gets freed from it. But yeah, Riddle, I can't really bear all of the jokey stuff. I don't think it's really done well. If you see what I mean, it's too dopey for me. But once he gets into that ring, he's a different animal, and I love watching Riddle matches. Um, he got the win here. Mustafa Ali berated Slapjack afterwards, as he has been doing for everybody else when they lose, and yeah, that was it. That was it, really. Backstage, we saw Adam Pearce have a word with Shane McMahon, and he was telling Shane McMahon, you know, you look like you had something more to say to Braun out there, but you know, you never said anything. What's going on? What's all that about? What do you want to say? And Shane McMahon said, like, oh God, everyone in here is nosy and everything like that. And Adam Pearce kind of laughed it off. And he said, but you know what? I do have something extra to say to Braun Strowman. So could you tell Braun Strowman to meet me in the ring? Shane McMahon went down to the ring. Braun Strowman joined him in the ring. And as soon as they were supposed to start talking, Shane McMahon started kind of acting like there was something wrong with his mic, and there was absolutely nothing wrong with his mic. He left the ring to go and get another mic, and as he left the ring to get another mic, he started walking up the entranceway. And as he walked up the entranceway, he was saying to Braun, like, "You think I'm here, trying to make you stupid? I never called you stupid. Some may say that you are." And this is where it lost me. He started saying like phrases for people being stupid, but he said he's never called Braun stupid, and he was literally rambling. And I don't think it's a thing where he just forgot his lines. I think this was meant to be, you know, what happened. And then we saw him. He called Braun, like he said, Braun, and then ran. And Braun, you know, left the ring, kind of running after him, sort of thing. Um, we saw Braun kind of chase him backstage. Shane McMahon appeared to get in a car and drive off. Braun ran up to the car, but obviously the car got away. And then Braun started walking away, and all of a sudden you see Shane come out from behind somewhere. He wasn't in that car that drove away. And he had got the better of Braun, and then he said, you know, like whispered to himself, "Oh, Braun is so stupid," or something like that. Guys, what the hell is this? Like, some people are enjoying this. Some people said, you know, Shane McMahon's very good in this very condescending fashion, in this condescending way. Um, he's a good heel and all of this kind of stuff. I just find this crap. I find it rubbish. If they want to build Braun back up as a monster and as a face, I'm sure there's like better ways to do it than what we're getting with this him and Shane. Like, it is a bit rubbish to me. And like I said early doors, the minute Shane came back, we're probably getting Braun versus Shane at WrestleMania. Um, yeah, man, I don't know. Let me know what you think of Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon and their current feud, which yeah, it's not exciting me at all. I think this is a load of rubbish. Let's move on. We had a women's tag team championship match. The contenders, the number one contenders, Naomi and Lana, finally getting their chances, or their chance, sorry, against Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, the champion. As they came out, the champions, they were accompanied by Reginald, who Nia said that, you know, he'd been kicked to the curb by Carmella, he'd been slapped by Sasha Banks, but, you know, I see something in Reginald. He's kind of cute, and clearly Reginald is going to be rolling with these guys for now anyway. Um, wasn't really happy to see it because you know, I think Reginald's kind of taken away from the women's division, which again came into play tonight. Um, Pretty decent match, didn't last long between these guys. Naomi, for me, was the MVP, really putting on a really solid performance, especially against Nia Jax. At a time, Reginald kind of cheated. Reginald pulled Naomi's leg when she was going to make an attack on Nia Jax. Naomi tagged in Lana to deal with um, Nia Jax, whilst Naomi went to deal with Reginald. You saw Lana do like a baseball slide to Reginald on the outside. And as she came back to the ring, she was picked up in that powerbomb position by Nia Jax, and then put in like the choke position for this kind of new finisher Nia Jax has been using, and slammed down. And yeah, pinned Nia Jax, and Shayna Baszler retain the women's tag team championships. Match wasn't long enough. Reginald's involvement soured it a bit for me. Um, I want Naomi in the Hurt Business. I said this months ago. So yeah, it's no surprise here. I want Naomi out of this. I want her to be in the Hurt Business and capture that woman's title and yeah, join the collective. Um, I'm happy that these guys, Lana and Naomi, have had their tag team match now. They didn't win, unfortunately. I hope they break up and they do other things. And I'm sure with NXT, you know, they announced that there's going to be two major announcements on NXT. I'm sure we're going to see some type of stipulation or some type of something around the women's tag division titles tomorrow on NXT. So I look forward to seeing what that is and discussing that again with you guys. Um, just thought I'd mention here, we saw backstage Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke be questioned about, you know, their involvement wanting to be in like the women's picture, the women's championship picture, that's the Raw Women's Championship. And Mandy took a kind of a slide dig, like, you know, at Charlotte, saying, you know, we aren't as ambitious as Charlotte, but we haven't come out and declared it and all that kind of stuff. Charlotte came into the picture and said that yeah, she's ambitious. That's why she wants it. So you know, step up if you want to have your chance at the title, sort of thing. Asuka's obviously still out. On Raw Talk, we saw Peyton Royce kind of say, you know, she wants her opportunity. So we've got like quite a few ladies in and around the division, clearly not doing much. Gunning for Asuka right now. And it's a bit unprecedented, if you like, but I would like to see maybe a gauntlet match at WrestleMania for the Raw Women's Championship. Because let's be honest, they haven't kept that any prestige around that championship. It's not something they would usually do, but why not? Why wouldn't you have a gauntlet match at WrestleMania? Let's see if Asuka can run the gauntlet. Asuka's not one to hide from challengers. Let her run the gauntlet and see if she comes out the other side with her Raw Women's Championship, because there's no story right now for any of these women kind of going into WrestleMania with Asuka. So why wouldn't you do something like this? Something different, give a lot of people a chance on the WrestleMania card. We know the likes of Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose are probably never going to become Raw Women's Champion, but it's just a different way to do something. And something I think, yeah, could be quite good. So let me know what you think down below in the comments. A Raw Women's Championship gauntlet match at WrestleMania. Also backstage, we saw earlier on in the night, I think this was AJ Styles poking the bear, so to speak, at Randy Orton and saying that things aren't right with Randy Orton. Randy Orton came out and then obviously kind of challenged him to a match. So that was the main event: AJ Styles versus Randy Orton. And you know you're never gonna get a bad match between these guys. You know, consummate professionals, veterans at this stage. So good to see them kind of tussle at it. But I think because of the heel versus heel dynamic, the match never really came to life. It was a good wrestling match and nothing more. And I think as well, you just always knew there was going to be that interruption because of the demons that Randy Orton is fighting right now. And, you know, sure enough, that interruption came when it looked like he was going to go for an RKO, setting up for an RKO. And Alexa Bliss came on the screen, and I can't lie, if she said something, I don't know what she said. I remember a lot of laughter. I remember her playing a Jack in the Box. And then, you know, he started vomiting and choking up this blood, this black blood stuff again. So yeah, he's clearly possessed one way or the other. AJ Styles put him out of his misery, jumped on top of the rope springboard, hit the phenomenal forearm and pinned Randy Orton for the win. So yeah, Randy Orton is definitely, you know, he's got something at WrestleMania with the Fiend, most likely a Firefly Funhouse match, a Firefly Funhouse match, like John Cena had last year. So that should be really interesting, and how they put a new creative spin on it should be really interesting. It's been good to see the Fiend kind of be off TV. We may not see him till WrestleMania now in his new incarnation, maybe. Who knows? Um, I know Alexa Bliss and Randy Orton have been carrying the feud in the meantime, but I feel like it's too much of the same thing is happening. We're not getting new advancements in the story, something different happening. So that's what I would like to see from these guys. But other than that, that was Raw. This was your Raw review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know down below in the comments what you think of Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon and everything around that story and how that played out on the night. I thought it was nonsense, but I want to hear from you guys. Let me know what you thought of the banger of the match between Drew McIntyre and Sheamus, the no disqualification match. And then Asuka running a gauntlet at WrestleMania. How does that sound? Mandy Rose, Dana Brooke, Peyton Royce, Charlotte Flair. I'm probably forgetting some other women you could put in there. Rhea Ripley, maybe. Let's see if Asuka can come out the other side. I'm really interested in seeing Asuka possibly run a gauntlet at WrestleMania for the Raw Women's Championship. Guys, please remember to hit the thumbs up button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you get notified each and every time I drop a new video. WrestleManiac UK signing out, and I'll see you